I would now wish to give the floor to Dr. Narantuya Bantu, Commissioner for National Human Rights of Mongolia, for up to 5 minutes for your opening remarks. Please, you have the floor.
Distinguished Chairperson, esteemed members of the UN Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, distinguished representatives of the Government of Mongolia, fellow advocates for human rights, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to stand before you today representing Mongolia's National Human Rights Institution. This review of the CRP committee provides a crucial platform for us to reflect on the progress made, address the challenges faced, chart a path forward that uplifts the rights and dignity of people with disabilities, reaffirm our collective dedication to promote and protect the rights of persons with disabilities. As a young professional at the Mongolia's National Human Rights Institution, I witnessed CRPD's journey in our country since 2006. I can say that for Mongolia, like everywhere, the CRPD is serving as a guiding beacon, reminding us of the imperative to build inclusive societies that embrace diversity. The Convention has created hope for people with disabilities and invigorated civil society. Mongolia has adopted laws that align with the CRPD and undertaken significant policy reforms. We established agencies responsible for disability issues and allocated funds, even though it is still deficit in most areas. Statistics show improvements in employment, educational opportunity, and accessibility of facilities and services. However, we are still at a long way to see meaningful and universal improvements in the lives of Mongolians with disabilities. In 2005, the number of people with disabilities was reported 73,000. In 2015, the number was about 100,000, and in 2022, it is 115,000. The visibility of people with disabilities is improving, yet these statistics still don't adequately capture the reality due to underdeveloped diagnosis of disability and the statistical methodology. Employees with disabilities are not common in the Mongolian workforce. 42 of the households with people with disabilities live in poverty compared to 18% of the households with people without disabilities. In 2022, 11 billion Mongolian tugruk was allocated to employment support for people with disabilities. However, how efficiently and effectively this fund has been spent. 36% of about 12,000 children with disabilities do not have access to education. Enrollment rate is increasing, but then there is a quality issue. In February and May 2023, I conducted an inquiry in 2 specialized schools for visibly impaired children and children with hearing loss. Although these are the oldest educational institutions in the country for people with disabilities operating since 1965, the quality of education at these schools has been too far from satisfactory, and the schools were left behind on the policy radar. If Mongolia cannot provide quality education for the children studying at this oldest institution, how can we ensure that all schools in Mongolia provide inclusive education, the policy which underpins the recently adopted education laws? Accessibility of social environment is a major human rights issue. Standards were adopted and accessible elements are increasingly being introduced. However, many such structures do not comply with these standards, and the sporadic, not universal accessibility elements do not often make difference. I would like to invite my fellow human rights advocates and esteemed officials from the Mongolian government to reflect on why and how we can translate the changes in the laws and policies to real life. I sincerely hope this interactive dialogue will go deep into the policy reform's essence and examine the quantity and quality of the relevant measures. We must discuss the areas often left behind by the disability policy, such as access to justice, the criminal justice system, and the political participation of people with disabilities. We must be conscious of Mongolians with disabilities living in remote areas and people with intellectual disabilities. Finally, I would like to note that Mongolian government has been committed to improve the lives of people with disabilities and willing to discuss the situation openly and candidly with the National Human Rights Commission. I wish a fruitful dialogue. Thank you.